Look who we met. So disgusting. Is that the way you want to present yourself, Aaron?
No. What's the video about?
Camera work.
Camera work? Okay.
So yeah, you can just say hi. That's yeah. Do you want to say hi?
Ja. Hi.
Hallo, wir sind ja gerade dabei, unsere dritte Show vorzubereiten für das Studium hier. Und diesmal bin ich im Kameradepartement, ich bin dit. Also ich bin dafür verantwortlich, dass ich immer die Daten so von der Kamera auf Festplatten sichere und sowas. Das ist nicht super spannend drüber zu erzählen. Deswegen treffe ich mich jetzt mit Dawson, der ist nämlich DP und kann hoffentlich etwas mehr erzählen. Heyo! Wir gehen nur eben zur Schule, um noch ein bisschen Equipment abzuholen. Look who we met. Oh mein Gott! Hallo, wir sind jetzt hier wieder angekommen und wir unterhalten uns heute einfach ein bisschen über das Kameradepartement und wie genau das hier in Vancouver an der Capilano so abläuft und aufgeteilt ist. Und ja, deswegen, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Dawson Heistad. I go to Capilano University in the Motion Picture Arts program. This year I'm getting to DP one of our 310 projects for the spring semester. Yeah, that's
it?
Yeah.
The camera department here in general is like, so we have the DP, a camera operator, that's like the person who's actually like holding the camera in their hands. We have a first AC who's like putting focus, a second AC who's
they do the slides.
Yeah. And then there's me and I'm dead.
And like all the camera team roles kind of blend together during setup, I think. Like
yeah, it's just if you're there and you have time, you just help.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you knew that you'd DP in the show, like what's the first thing you did?
I think like the first step was just getting on the same page as the director and the production designer for that matter. The three of us got together. It's just a meeting where we can just all like talk about our ideas, make sure we're all kind of coming at it from the same angle. That's where we would talk about things like themes and like what the story kind of means and possible different like ideas any of us had if we wanted to pitch anything.
And then how is the work like separated between like USDP and director and art department especially?
So like color palette and like overall look of the film kind of was discussed like very early on between the three of us. But then that kind of, after that meeting, that kind of falls onto me and it's up to me to maintain the overall look. Especially with this project, we have like 3 separate timelines, so we got to make sure that they all, you know, look different, I guess.
And now that we talked about that, maybe could you like pitch the project just really shortly so people kind of know what we're talking about?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. An Everest all to myself. It's the story of an athlete named Elliot who was the best of the best. He ran marathons. He wants to prove that he's better than everyone else, and he knows that he has the ability to just push himself as far as he wants. But then eventually he pushes himself too far and he injures himself. And it's an injury that he can't quite just bounce back from, which, you know, shatters his whole world because running is all he's really known. And yeah, it's kind of about his journey, you know, figuring out why he fell in love with running in the first place and, you know, what drives him overall and, you know, what if he's gonna keep going, like why is he gonna keep going, like what's it all for?
Okay, and so you had like the first meeting, so you're all on the same page now kind of. Then how do you like start to prepare more specifically for certain shots, or like what would the next step be?
Right, so after we've kind of discussed like how it looks and like the different elements, art department kind of goes off and they start building things and they start acquiring different like set pieces and costumes and stuff to kind of work towards that. Whereas the director and I kind of then begin to focus on like shots and how things are going to be framed and how we want to tell certain scenes. I think in the ideal situation, like you could plan out any shot you could imagine and then find a location that works, but that's a little harder.
Yes.
So for us, we definitely went out looking for locations where like, okay, so we need a path through the forest that people can run on. Let's go out and find one. We found some and which ones are going to let us film, okay, and then from there you can kind of, like frame your shot list.
So when you then, because I know you went with Matt and Evan on location, what was it like exactly you were looking for, or what were you doing when you went there?
So that, by that point, like we had already kind of chosen our locations. We knew we were going to go there, and that was more, it was more like a final test just to make sure that the like location would work for what we wanted. because we had built our shot list, we had found the locations separately, you know, and we're like, okay, these are great, let's see if they work together. So we went out there where we were actually planning to shoot, and we kind of just like roughly, you know, held our camera and like without any like actual rigs or proper lighting or anything, we just kind of got frames of what we were wanting, and we're like, okay, is this gonna like work? Can we get the shots that we need? Is it gonna cut together?
So like a storyboard, basically.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, we just went and like took photo storyboards. Exactly.
Okay, nice. What we also have is like the tech survey, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
So tech surveys are just a way to go to the location ahead of production and just think out every logistical problem that you're gonna have, and just be thinking about, you know, what does this location actually offer us? So for example, you know, you show up and you're like, okay, so this is where, you know, the action's happening, this is where camera will roughly be, we're gonna be looking these directions, you know, based on that, where could we set up like tents, or where can we store our gear, or where can we hide generators, or where can we keep cast? It's just like, how is everything gonna look on the day? And you just go there as a team and you talk through everything. And, you know, you do that for every location, because every location's different.
I think like one other really... Do you want some water? It's just here.
Where is it?
There.
Because of the amount of like technically demanding shots we're getting, just like in terms of like, it's all like running shots, you know, so it's a lot of movement. We just wanted to have time ahead of production to just set everything up, just give it a shot and like try something. Like, it's not the final look, but you know, for instance, we rigged up a camera on a big piece of pole so that we could run with it, and just see if we could like run alongside the runner in the path and actually get a shot of them. So we tried it just in the studio, you know, just to see if we can keep up with someone. And
that worked good?
It worked good, yeah.
And now you don't have the runner?
And now we don't have it.
Because nobody booked it?
That was plan A, now we're on plan B. We want to get rid of any potential for surprises on set, other than things that are out of our control. So tomorrow we're setting up like a wireless focus unit on the camera, along with like wireless video transmitters and a monitor, so that we can have it on rigs that like go running, and you know, the first AC pulling focus and the director and the DOP, we don't all have to like follow them. We can just stand off to the side.
That'd be like horrible.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we all had to run with it?
So another big point as DP is lighting, right?
Yeah.
So how do you work with that?
Well, for this project specifically, it's a little weird because all our shots are outside, and
it's gonna be fun because it's always raining in Vancouver. It's gonna be great.
Vancouver rains a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also like, it's a weird time because it's spring,
Oh, yeah.
so there are some sunny days and there are some not sunny days. We have an idea for how it might be, and I have like an idea how I would really like it to be. At this time, I want the sun to be here, and I want a cloud to pass at this speed. But the biggest thing is just like knowing, no matter what happens on the day, no matter like what the weather's like, keeping it like consistent between scenes, you know? Like if we do one scene in the forest on Friday, even if it's not raining, if it's just like gloomy, you know, if it's a little dark, and then we go on Monday and it's like bright sun, I have to like find a way to make it look the same. So, you know, you gotta block out the sun and everything. So, and everything's kind of up in the air, so we're having like, we have plan A, and then we have plan B, and then we have plan C, and we just like, yeah, all the way through. And knowing that you'll go with one of them and all the other ones will get tossed out.
That's sad, actually.
Yeah. We just need like many different backup plans, because like something will go wrong on the day, you know?
Yeah,
like
always.
something will go wrong. And we hope we're prepared for whatever goes wrong.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You got to be able to stay adaptive on set. And I think that comes down to just knowing what the story's about. And it's good to know how you can tell that scene specifically, but like more importantly than how you're going to tell the scene, like why are you telling it that way?
Yeah.
That way when you can't get it that way, you can be like, oh well, you know, this also would work for that.
Yeah, and still have like the main story point in that.
Yeah, it'll still, the beats are still the same important story.
So that's all we can like, talk about for pre-production in the camera department. Now you just gotta say bis zum nächsten Mal.
Say it once more.
Bis zum nächsten Mal.
Bis zum nächsten Mal.
abonnieren.